Everybody's like, oh, you talk too much about shit, just a little too much, like. But and what we really want.
I have a gripe. I have an issue.
What is it?
Do you guys have this gripe?
No.
Okay, listen up.
Just
Uber,
guessing.
Lyft, what's up with the air conditioning? You know, what's up with the AC? Really, you get in the car and it's fucking summer, hottest summer in record here. You get in there and it's a hot box. It's fucking hot. And the first thing you go, do you want the AC on? Or like, yeah, motherfucker! Put the AC on!
Probably to save money.
Yeah, I know, but come on, give me a break. Do you want the AC on? So put it on. And then when Friday night, I'm driving with this person, and then she.
Oh, you're talking. Oh,
He's saying Uber.
I thought
Lyft,
he meant the mechanics of the fucking
no.
car. I'm like, could you be
when
more
you're
of
saying
a baby?
driving, you mean riding.
You mean no? You mean Lyft and Uber drivers?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yes.
You get in the back, and it's just like.
I was like, what a baby.
Do you want it
he
to
wants
be?
to know why.
Do you want to be sweating or in your back sticking to the back of my shitty car?
You're paying me money. Do you want to be comfortable or?
Yeah. Or do you want to roll down the window and get the fucking air in your face?
How about when you get in a car and it's like you get like an SUV, you're with a group, and then you're like, it's fucking hot back here, and then you're like, hey, you do a million things. Like there's such a fucking amount of chuffa. You got 4 people working on a problem back there, 18 dials. Everybody,
you're doing
and
this,
then
you're doing
finally, only when it needs to involve Capitan, you go like. Is it air oriented anything? And it's always the first response is always like just victim blaming, it's already on. Like they'll just say something that makes you feel fucking insane. Like it should work. It's already on. Like,
This shit was happening to me on Saturday. So I get in the car and I do the really hot one today. Which is...
You're trying to ramp in. Yeah.
I'm trying to... And then they go, oh, would you like the AC on? And I go, yeah, if it's all right.
I'll sometimes go they go like, do you want the AC? I'll go, you know what? Who am I to say yes? I'll go like, it's Los Angeles. You know what? No. I'll roll down the window, get on the freeway.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I'll go like, okay, now let's try some AC.
That weird wah wah sound happens when you let one window down. That's a fun time.
And then she's like, oh, okay, I'll put it on, but it gets so cold in here. It's like a fucking 122 degrees out. People are dying outside.
I wish there was a way to measure. Don't you wish there was a way to measure at the end of all of our lives? Don't you just wish it could be like Monopoly or something where we could, little things like how many of the people that succeeded or failed, like to the extent that their success or failure had anything to do with money, like how much, it's like I just want to like be there at the fucking like St. Peter's Gate or whatever where we all tabulate and go like, yeah, you know what? Every time you fucking didn't buy popcorn when you were in line and you made your date buy it, like you didn't. It made you poorer. Like you didn't or this like your laundromat putting that label on the machine and then making this hubcap into the bathroom key. Like
$5.
You didn't get rich from doing any of this shit. Like I want.
But this is what she was doing. She was like, okay, I'll turn it on. And then what I saw, she was slowly turning it off, like slowly turning it off.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. And I rolled down my window, and then she turns around and goes, what's going on? Do we want AC or fresh air?
You shouldn't turn on you shouldn't open the window when the AC's on. That's an insane person thing to do.
If it's not cold enough, it's actually the smartest thing to do.
Maybe use your mouth and like request things like a human.
When somebody says, hey, do you want AC? And I go, yes, and you slowly turn it off.
What she was
She was cold.
She gets too cold. Also, I'll say that people who drive Lyft and Uber don't make that much
No, they
money.
don't make.
So the money
they make
that they
very
save
little money
from ACs
That might
actually
add
helps
up.
them pay their rent
And it
stuff.
saves the
don't
wear and tear on the car.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you. Fuck you. Bring a sweater.
Thank
Fuck
you.
you.
I just want to say I'm still in.
No,
I'm
it's
still in
hot
touch
out.
with
You
the
can't
common
wear a
people.
sweater.
No.
He's a real man of the
tired.
people.
It's the
that knows.
hottest summer in record.
How much?
Yeah, change your underwear halfway through the day.
How much fucking money do you save by not using AC? I want to
Enough.
see the spreadsheet of it. That's what I'm saying. I want to see at the end of
it's
everyone's
there.
life how much.
Through town, you actually do spend a lot of money on
Is it
AC.
$30
Yeah.
a week?
But
What
on
is
the
it?
highway, it doesn't make a bit of difference.
Is
Well,
it
it depends on how much
3 cents
traffic
an
there's on the
hour?
highway.
Is it $4 a month?
Use
Like,
your
what is
mouth
it?
like a human being.
Yeah.
Use your mouth like a human being.
Most of your
I did.
complaint is I shouldn't have to ask for AC.
Yes. Yes.
We'll ask for it.
I never.
I shouldn't have to ask for AC on the hottest summer in the history of the world.
But it's not a problem when you have a mouth you can use.
And you do.
Yes, it is a problem.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It is a problem.
It's just a thing that happens.
You know what you do?
It's a problem.
Rob, when you get in the car, if it's too hot inside, you just do a Kumail and get naked.
Okay.
No, Spencer,
yeah, I'm
if,
also
you're if you're
fully-
driving
But then
a
she
hot
drops
box
she
around
drops
and
us
picking
off
people
and
up.
she goes, "Don't forget my 5 stars."
Let's bring on Steve Agee, everybody. Steve Agee.
Oh, he didn't want to come on stage.
Are you back there,
Too
Steve?
bad.
The more you reach out, the more he'll hit you. And
You with us?
Yeah.
an exit plan.
Stephen Agee.
I was backstage texting Rob links to remote control toilets.
Yes.
Hey.
Gonna save my
It's real.
marriage.
Wait, on
Gonna
Wi-Fi you
laugh,
can.
gonna laugh my way to the bank.
I also sent you a link
Wait,
to
how
a
are you going to the bank from that? You didn't invent that.
Ah.
So other people invented
Yes.
I also
No.
sent a link to a toilet that flushes as soon as you stand up.
That's nice.
it. Can
That's
you
a good
hack
time.
other people's toilets and then make them flush when they're
In the
sitting on them?
description, it said, "No more fighting over forgotten flushes."
Hey, look at you. All right.
You should get it before they go out of business because nobody else has this problem. Hack into your neighbor's toilet and just flush it all night. So many problems.
And
That's
for,
just
This
leaving.
toilet doesn't need to be on Wi-Fi.
he
who
also texted
laughs
me
last.
for Emily. There's a new Ziploc crap sack.
It's got a
Is there
separate little
any-
pocket for toilet paper.
Yeah, you need a separate little pocket. One for tampons.
Is there anybody in our audience we could crowdsource this? Like, try to restrain yourself. Like, if you really feel like you have something concise and from an expert place that we can defer to, I really want to know the data on the cost of air conditioning.
Oh my God.
It's been
Yes.
myth
I'm not
busted.
kidding. Like,
Yes.
if you,
It's been myth busted.
yes.
You could like flip this
Is
for
it
me.
as much as
What
you
was
would
the
get?
result on
It's-
Mythbusters?
You save money by not using the AC.
Yeah, I know you save more money by not air conditioning the car than if you don't, but I just want to know what the scale of it is.
Yeah, like if you save $5 worth of gas,
How often?
like just driving me from one side of the town.
Well,
to
it's
the
not going to be
That's worth
$5.
it.
Significant.
Yeah. So get a $5 tip. It's an option.
Yeah, but they don't say.
They don't get the tip.
They don't see who tips.
Yeah, how will they know that you're going to tip before they've dropped you off?
nobody's raising their hand.
Any
Like,
rideshare drivers.
Here's what you do though: you get in the car with a $5
Oh,
bill
let's see
and
one
go
hand.
AC.
Two
Oh,
hands.
okay.
That
Do you
guy's got
want
his-
to just come up here and give us a little bit of information from your perspective?
I'm willing
We
to
won't.
bet
We won't. We
he
won't
doesn't
attack
have any
or
information.
hurt
You
you.
should take a $5.
It's been a long day.
Here we go.
I've been taking the wrong way.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Christian.
Christian. Okay. Do you
I'm
want to tell?
atheist.
You don't have to tell us anything about yourself that you don't want us to know, but
Stop it, you fucking.
give us
I
your
love you.
give us your background. Why you might have
right.
knowledge about this?
So I went to UC San Diego,
Oh.
and
It's very hot there.
Why?
yeah, it's hot there. And I got a degree in computer engineering, and now I'm an Uber driver. So
Heck
Oh, okay.
yeah, you are.
This
How
sounds
many
like a
degrees?
good intersection of expertise. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, you can see who tips you.
Oh, that was not the.
Thank you. I've been wanting to know this. Thank you.
Wait, I don't know. Did you just do the world's most perfect joke, or are you? How much money does?
So for the AC, I mean, I guess you can save a little bit of cash.
See, so you were actually here to answer the other question.
Who wants to sit around in a car that's hot and be an animal for an entire week to save?
This was not why you were brought up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
His opinion on whether or not it's good to be in heat. We all agree it's bad to be in heat.
He's equating it with
exactly.
Let him speak. There's 9 people up here. He's saying, if I could talk over you for a second.
Let him talk, for fuck's sake.
All right, go ahead.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
Okay. Well, here's what I heard you say. It's what Schrab is saying, which is basically like the savings on air conditioning are probably
it's
in
minimal.
comparison to the jeopardy.
But do you know that? You're just saying that because now you're on the spot and we asked you a different question than the one you thought you were answering.
No.
What? Just.
All right.
He was doing a funny joke to open. He gained everyone's esteem, and
I don't think he was doing a joke. I think he thought that was the question. Was whether or not you can tell if
I wish we could. There's some way we could find out what his intentions were.
All
Let's
right,
roll the clip.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you, Christian. Does anyone know how much money you can save?
It doesn't save a lot of money, but these are people who don't make a lot of money, and a lot of the money they make goes to pay the costs of them doing their job.
Yep.
Which is what?
Which is paying for the car, paying for the gas for the car, paying for maintenance
That's their
on the car.
job?
That's a big part of their job.
Their job is to pay for the car.
Because that's what their office is.
Do you
If
think
they
this
don't have
is
a car,
funny?
they don't have
Their
work.
job.
Spencer, if we fill
I thought
a
it was driving
balloon with
people
our
be-
awareness that people who work everyday jobs are unfairly paid, do we have to be so distracted by that when we're discussing this other thing?
Well, that's the
I don't think it's a
reason why you're
distraction.
uncomfortable, though. And I agree that being uncomfortable is not a good thing, but it's just a thing that has a reason.
Right, but
I understand the
do we have
reason.
any idea
Oh,
how much
okay.
air conditioning costs
Does
an
anyone
Uber
know?
driver out of their overhead?
I
Do we
would
know
love
if it's
it if
10
Christian-
cents
Here's
a
my
month?
biggest problem. The surprise. Oh, you want the air conditioning on? As sweat is just dripping off of everybody's face. It's like if you're a restaurant and you get water because people are usually thirsty when they're eating their French
So
fries.
for you,
You have to ask for water.
If she had been like, "Hey, I know it's very hot. I didn't have it on because I'm saving money because I'm not super rich."
You'd be okay with
Is it
that.
okay? Do you want the AC or not? So she does a little guilt trip to you before you do it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Right.
I would.
Kevin,
10%.
Kevin Day just came down with the data.
Thanks, Kevin.
It's 10. Well, Kevin Day, everybody. Our illustrious
10%.
producer
10%.
extraordinaire. 10% fuel efficiency is lost, Kevin, by having the air on?
That's significant.
10% fuel, 10% of anything is significant.
Yeah. Literally on the way here, we're low on gas, and you were like, let's turn off the AC.
That is what I did. I did that tonight.
That's right. On the
I
way
did that
here.
on the way here. I'm a big AC turn-off.
I had a friend so stupid when we were 16 that he was like, "We running out of gas. We got to turn off the radio."
I've done that.
Well,
as
it depends on what song's playing.
All right, so rideshare operators within the sound of our voice, we're in desert cities where it gets to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, we need to have this conversation. Among the many things that are unfair to drivers, they're 10% of their overhead, as opposed to someone in Minnesota, is like, it's an important thing. And we're feeling it first here, having the conversation. And I'm sure it'll be fixed by next week, thanks to this podcast.
Solve that.
But 10%'s a fucking lot.
So much.
I would have always assumed when I heard my parents talking about like, oh, we're gonna get, don't turn up the, I was in my head, I was always like, yeah, and we should always eat generic peanut butter because of hospital bills. Like I was like, I bet this doesn't add up to anything. 10%'s a lot.
There's
It's a
also
tenth of 100%.
There's also this thing where
Wait, what did you
people
say,
who
AG?
are doing the share, sort of in the share movement, are compromising themselves. So when you hear somebody ask for them to compromise themselves a little bit more, it kind of sparks a nerve. While at the same time, if you're going to do the job, you should probably have a cool cabin. I get that, but I also get the like, we can't ask these slaves to fry our burgers
Well,
faster.
to be clear, we should definitely ask for it to be cold. We should want it to be cold. But while doing that, just understand why it is the way it is. I mean, all the feelings are completely great.
Yes.
This is good. This is good. Let's roll the clip.
That's great.
What if it cuts to a clip of us having this exact conversation a year ago? What? We already did all this?
We haven't solved it.
Oh my
maybe,
God.
I mean, part of the reason to have the conversation is because maybe a ride service would say, hey, we're adding a button that for $3 extra for 10% of the thing, the driver will receive an alert that says, please cool down your cabin as you roll up.
Oh, if I was a driver, I would never pick that person up. I would be like, that guy's an asshole.
No,
You're telling me ahead of time? Like, I like it a certain way, so come correct when you come to me. I'd be like, bye.
Come correct.
That must be nice. I like that you'd be that picky, but like if people really wanted it that badly, if you live in Arizona and every time you take a rideshare service, your big fucking problem is that unlike a cab, which runs on a medallion service, you climb in and it's fucking overhead paid by the corrupt, medallion service.
Cabbies do this too.
It's cool as hell. And then every time a Lyft comes, it's like hot and you have to have the conversation. Like if I don't know what the statistics are. The next thing Kevin Day needs to come down is go like, here's how many people have a problem with like being when they get the thing. I've always noticed it. I've always noticed that conversation. I've always found it like kind of like crazy and absurd. I find it way less absurd and like the 10% of anything is like huge.
Yeah.
So now that can reduce my outrage by at least 10%, if not 90. Because if I get in and I'm like, it's hot, it feels like empathy for the poor. Like now I can fucking use that heat to make me stronger as a liberal. Great. Now I have everything. Plus, I have a Tesla, so I don't unless I'm super drunk, I don't need your hot-ass car.
I learned about this from cabs. I got in like 4 cabs in a row, and that's what they were doing. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I looked it up, and they were like, saves a lot of money. And I was like, I guess if it's your job.
Yeah.
And then I never did this issue.
I remember in the Milwaukee days, like, when we would like fill up our tank $1 at a time, and they'd be like, "We're not going to make it to Dale's house in time to get drunk," and then it'd be like, "We got to turn off the air conditioner."
Yeah.
And I always wondered, like, what does that mean per mile? Now we know.
10%.